Okay, so first of all, I would like to apologise to my subscribers who were hoping for a Multiverse of Matches review. Unfortunately, my fight is playing up. I have not watched the show. I'll probably watch it when it comes on Impact Plus and get you a review there. But in the meantime, let's talk about this batshit show. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Ewan McQuaid, and today we are talking about WrestleMania 38 Night 2, the Sunday edition. Well, the Monday morning edition, if you are me, getting up at 5 o'clock with my lovely Lucozade original, the best flavour of Lucozade. Do not come at me. So yeah, this is my review. I'm going to talk through everything that happened on the show. I'm going to run down the angles, the matches, let you know my thoughts, and yeah, the way a review works, if you will. So shall we get straight into the show? First of all, let's talk about the sort of overall vibe. I much preferred this to night one. I think it's very different. I feel like night one, me personally, I thought had better... How do I describe this? I think it had two phenomenal matches that I love. Whereas I thought the matches here, while they didn't reach that height, were a lot more consistently great. Me personally, that's my opinion. And I thought this show delivered a lot more than night one. Maybe that's just me. I might be in the minority there. So the show started off with America the Beautiful by Jessie James Decker. I don't know who that is, unfortunately. So she did a good job. And then we got Marky Mark again, doing a new video package for WrestleMania. Another night, saying it's stupendous and all that good stuff. And then, I wasn't expecting this, Motorhead kicks in. Game, Triple H comes down to the ring. It's quite emotional, actually. He's got his boots in hand. Looks like he's about to cry. And he just says, "Welcome to WrestleMania." Puts his boots in the ring and leaves. I think it was a very, very poignant statement from the game. Very sad that he's retired, and at least he got to, be in front of that crowd, that WrestleMania crowd that he's entertained for years, and have a send-off that way. I thought it was really nice, really sweet, really good way to open the show. And we get a glimpse of Gable Steveson again. They're really hyping this guy up. They really are hyping this guy up. But yeah, he was there in the front row for the first match, which was the triple threat tag team match, the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus RK Bro for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now, this match I thought slapped. I thought this was absolutely class. Their match on Raw was great, and this I feel like was better. I think these teams gel really well together. They don't do the typical, triple threat format where it's one person rolls out of the ring and two people do that. No, they just work so well. There was an amazing dive over the turnbuckle from Montez Ford onto a bunch of people, followed by a moonsault from Chad Gable. He's just the best. He's great at selling. And a lot happened. A lot happened in this match. Too much to run down, but let's talk about the spot that everyone will be talking about coming out of this match, which was Riddle springboarding up onto the top rope and hitting a top rope RKO on Montez Ford, and then Randy Orton hitting a catching RKO on Chad Gable for the win. It was a solid way to end the match. It was really fun, a lot better than the opening of night one, and I feel like the Raw Tag Division is stepping up its game a lot. And yeah, very excited to see where this goes. RK Bro retain and no breakup. Instead, we got an angle after where the Street Profits went to show respect to RK Bro, and they got Gable Steveson to enter the ring, shared a cup of whatever it is they drink, and then Chad Gable comes in, gets a suplex from Gable Steveson. He's got a good belly over the head suplex. Yeah, they celebrate at the end. Cool stuff. Great way to open the show. Great feel-good moment to open the show. And yeah, great match. Great match all round. Next up, we got Omos versus Bobby Lashley. Now, as I said in my previous review, I was dreading this match because it's not my thing. It's really not my thing. Omos is not my thing. And yeah, that was cemented here because I thought this was boring. I thought this was really slow, really dull, and I don't really see the point in Lashley winning. I get it's his return, but Lashley beating Omos, who's been very heavily protected, I thought would have been saved for someone new. It would have been a great thing to give maybe Bron Breakker on his debut. He just beat Omos. But no, Lashley. Yeah, I've not much to say on this. Plodding, slow. Yeah, not too long. Not for me, this match. Then we got, let's talk about, I'm skipping through the video packages and stuff on this review because I did fast forward some of them because a lot of them were recaps from night one. And yeah, I saw night one. Don't need a recap of it. Then we got Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. This match ruled. This was so good. It was so funny. I don't even like Jackass. I've never seen a full film, but I've seen the clips. I've seen the hand slap. I've seen the being sick in the tubes with the fart and all that classy stuff. But no, seeing this match was just fun. It went way longer than I thought it was going to, and it was just plunder spot after plunder spot. Sami gets a table of mousetraps out from under the ring. Someone's going through that, and then it sort of just went on this crazy turn. Particularly when I don't know the lad's name. I'm assuming he's a Jackass guy, stripped down to his pants. Yeah. After there, it just went wild into Jackass shenanigans. Wee Man comes out. He hits a power slam on Sami Zayn, which gets a massive pop. Sami runs around the ring, gets hit with one of the slappers. That was great. Wee Man gets a propelled foot, and kicks Sami Zayn in the nads after taking a hell of a haluva kick right to the face. And then the finish came when, and I'm not making this up, Sami Zayn gets trapped under a giant mouse trap, which fails to activate first time. Oh, it was sad. Oh, if Johnny Knoxville pulls the thing and it went down, but it didn't. He had to fiddle about with it a little bit. So close to greatness, but the mousetrap comes down, hits Sami Zayn right in the chest. Knoxville pins him for the win. The Jackass boys celebrated. This was really fun. I really liked this, and it was very, very different. Also, the mousetrap bump did look like it hurt. So I want to say props in all of this to Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn sold his ass off for everything in this match. Absolutely everything. The tasers, the mousetraps, the kick to the dick, everything. The hand slap in particular, he sold like a million bucks. So yeah, props to Sami Zayn, props to Knoxville. I thought this was an absolute triumph, this match, and probably go down as one of the best celebrity matches in WrestleMania history. Next up, we got the Fatal 4-Way match for these, I nearly said SmackDown Women's Tag Team Championships. No, just the Women's Tag Team Championships. You had Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Shayna Baszler and Natalya versus Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. A lot of names. This, again, I was dreading, but I feel like this absolutely over-delivered. I really, really enjoyed this. It was chaotic at times, and I think Sasha Banks and particularly Carmella, she did really well in this match as well. She hit some pretty decent super kicks. They just did some really cool stuff. Double suicide dives, looked great. I feel like Shayna and Natalya didn't really get much chance to shine in this match. I mean, they were a late addition, but they didn't really get much to do. But Rhea and Liv Morgan as well, I think looked great. The riptide into the backbreaker, really solid stuff. And yeah, Naomi and Sasha Banks picked up the win here in what was a really, really successful match. I've not cared at all about the women's tag team division until this match. This gave me the slimmest bit of hope that they're going to feature a little bit more and maybe give some substance, because it's Sasha and Naomi, but I feel like they're just heading for an implosion. Sasha's probably going to turn on her. But yeah, really fun match this. Really fun. Exceeded expectations, which were, ground level for me. So yeah, great success. Then we got my hottest take coming out of this show. Probably, I haven't seen the reaction to some of this, but AJ versus Edge didn't hit the mark for me. I like Edge, but I feel like his matches are boring. I don't know, because I really liked the Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match. I wasn't much for the SummerSlam match. I feel like, I don't know, they just don't click with me, these new Edge matches, apart from, that, like I say, the Hell in a Cell match and the Triple Threat at WrestleMania. So, this was a bit slow for me. Bit of a slow sort of build. It was weird seeing AJ come out with blood on his face already. But yeah, I just didn't feel like there was enough fire in this. It picked up a little bit towards the later stage of the match when some of the big moves were getting hit, and the 450 splash from AJ, the suplex on the apron was pretty nasty as well. That looked really good, but I felt like it was just, I don't know, it just didn't hit me, this one. And it's a shame, because I was really looking forward to this. Really was. I'm also not high on the idea of Edge and Damian Priest together, little goth boys. Nah, I don't know. I'm not much for the heel Edge character, and Edge picked up the win, caught a phenomenal forearm in a spear, which I think was the spot a lot of people were thinking was going to happen in this match, and it did. But yeah, this match to me disappointed me, I'm sorry to say. Then we got the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland and Butch. This was fun. It was 2 minutes, if that. A really good super kick from Xavier Woods. I don't like the way they're portraying Pete Dunne in the slightest, of like this little scrappy dude who's trying to jump up and wrangle everyone. I don't like that at all. And yeah, Ridge Holland and Sheamus won. You would have thought they'd give this to Xavier and I nearly said Xavier and Woods. I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry. Xavier and Kofi. But they didn't. Even though they were in the Big E attire and everything like that, doing the big Big E entrances. No. Let's give this one to the bad guys, because this feud must continue, I suppose. Yeah, it was fun enough. At least it got on the show. I was worried it wasn't going to make the show, but maybe it could have been cut for time. Maybe. But it is what it is. Then, right, this is going to be the big bulk. I'm going to need a drink, okay, before I talk about this. So Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee. This match had no right to be as good as it was. Pat McAfee comes out to Seven Nation Army, which, is one of the greatest songs of all time, particularly here in the UK, because it's not only a football chant, it's a political chant. It can be used for anything. So, yeah, it was great to see someone come out to that. And the match itself was great. I want to give special props to Michael Cole on commentary, because he made this legitimately emotional. The way he was, supporting his friend, saying how it's been his dream. I got a little bit choked up when he won, when Pat McAfee won. But that doesn't discredit anything he did in the ring as well. He did a backflip off the turnbuckle straight into a superplex, which was fantastic. He got a great spinning elbow. And yeah, the match itself was really good. Potentially my match of the night, because it was the most emotional match of the night by far. And then we got to the post-match after that rip-roaring, emotional sort of just journey. Specifically, with the video package, because I think the video package for this match was great, was really great. Vince McMahon had already come down to the ring. He's in the corner of Austin Theory because they have the little bromance going on, right? And Pat McAfee, after winning, he's like goading Vince McMahon to get in the ring, saying, come on, you can do this. And Vince brilliantly teases taking his jacket off and then puts it back on and begins walking again. And then he looks at McAfee, he does this really weird creepy look and takes off his jacket and then takes off his tie, and then he reveals the black vest underneath, the black vest that so many of us know from his WrestleMania classics against the likes of Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels. And he gets in the ring, and a ref gets in the ring as well. You ring the bell. Vince has a match with Pat McAfee. He hits clotheslines and then punts a football into the gut of McAfee and pins him. Vince McMahon wins in a glorified squash match at WrestleMania. This was insane. Absolutely insane. And then he's celebrating, and he decides to cut the music, the No Chance in Hell, and instead they play Austin Theory's music, and Austin Theory celebrates on the turnbuckles, which I thought was nice. I thought that was really fun, putting over Theory that way. And then the glass shatters and Stone Cold comes down. Vince, as he does a great sell of Austin's music. Austin gets in the ring, hits a fantastic stunner on Theory. And then he's teasing Vince. They have a beer together. This went on for ages. This segment went on for ages. I can't believe how long it was. And they have a beer, they have a drink, and then Austin kicks Vince in the gut, and Vince sort of very strangely sells that he's been kicked in the gut. He goes back against the ropes. Austin's trying to grab his head for a stunner, and then essentially has to pull Vince McMahon down into this stunner. And it was really, really funny. Austin himself was pissing himself laughing at what had just happened. And then, celebrates. Beer gets slapped. Pat McAfee gets in the ring. They slap beers together. He gets a stunner as well, resulting in what will be the meme of the century of him drinking beer on the floor. It was a really fun angle. This is how I feel like Stone Cold should have been used at this show, not necessarily how he was on night one, and I feel like this did a lot better job. I'm hoping Vince can still get behind Austin Theory. And Pat McAfee, I'd like to see have more matches. Yeah, so I think this was a solid all-around angle, and I think the match itself was really solid as well. This is going to be the big talking point coming out of this WrestleMania. I thought it was great. Really good stuff. And then we got the main event. We got the unification match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. This match, I feel like, is a victim of a couple of different things. It's the WrestleMania Backlash. Was it WrestleMania? Yeah, WrestleMania Backlash, I think. Greatest match of all time between Edge and Randy suffered the same thing. I think if you bill this as the biggest match in WrestleMania history, people are going to expect more. And I think the other issue coming from this match is we've seen this dynamic a lot of Brock versus Roman. I feel like it's the same style of match every time. It's big move, finisher, big move. And I didn't think this had any sort of layer to it as their other matches, some of them did. As much as the WrestleMania 34 match was booed out the building, I feel like the busting open of Reigns in that match really added a different layer of intensity to it. This was a bit too standard for what it had been billed at. It was a solid match, but biggest WrestleMania match of all time goes about 12 minutes, and it's just spear, F5, German suplex. I don't know. It was good match, but I feel like victim of circumstances, this one, not as good as, it's been billed, which is a shame, because it suffered because of that. It had a very hot crowd. What I appreciated the most about this is it did have a big fight feel. It's just the match itself didn't live up to that feel. I really like the Kimura spot. I think the Kimura spot is probably the highlight of the match, particularly when Roman's talking about his shoulder being popped out, talking to Paul Heyman. That bit's great. Then it ends very abruptly with a spear. Just a spear to put away Brock. So yeah, that topped off the night. Roman is WWE and Universal Champion. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if he either loses one of the belts, if he just makes his own belts out of both of them. Quite exciting days for WWE. I'm excited that some of these feuds seem to have ended and people can move on to fresh things. People like Drew, Sami, KO. Some of these people can, move on to new things. This felt like a crescendo of all the stories we've been telling. I'm excited to see what's next for Roman as well. So yeah, overall, I would give this night's show a 3.5 out of 5. I much preferred this show to the first one. Let me know your thoughts on the show down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of you. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.